cash flow statement. Before that, right, these are my books. That is Accounting Standards Made Easy for CA Inter, and this one is Auditing and Assurance Made Easy, 100 marks paper, not just auditing standards, and it covers the entire syllabus for CA Inter. And this is IND AS Made Easy. It covers all IND AS which are applicable for CA final new syllabus. Okay, right. It is available in Amazon, Flipkart, in every online market, and any good bookstores generally available. Okay, right. Let's have a look at Accounting Standard 3 cash flow statement. Right. See, cash flow statement. Name itself says cash. Cash, it is only cash flow statement. Non-cash items are not dealt by this standard. Okay, right. What do you mean by cash? Cash means, right, general cash means cash in hand obviously, and cash at bank and demand deposits. Remember my dear, it includes cash at bank also. Okay, demand deposits. What do you mean by demand deposits? Right, on demand, so I deposited in the bank. On demand, banker has to give me without cutting anything. Okay, right. So that is demand deposits. Okay, cash and cash equivalents. That is what we generally use. What do you mean by cash equivalents? Generally, many students do not use it in right fashion. What do you mean by cash equivalent? Cash equivalent is an asset. It should satisfy two conditions. If it satisfies two conditions, then that asset can be called as cash equivalent. One is short-term and highly liquidable asset. Short-term means, does it mean that 12 months? No, it is not. In this standard, short-term refers to 3 months. So exactly, within 3 months, it should be convertible into cash. That is highly liquidable. Just with respect to second condition, that is on realization of that asset, realization means converting it into cash, there should be insignificant change in value. Suppose I have purchased it for 1 lakh rupees, on sale or on converting of it, I should be getting approximately 1 lakh only, or very less and minor, very insignificant loss of value is not a problem. Suppose if I say investment in equity share, can you call it as cash equivalent? See, investment in equity share, I purchase Reliance company share. I can sell whenever I want. Very highly liquidable because it is listed in the stock exchange. But today you bought it for some number, some value, but will you be able to sell it at the same value? Right? It's not possible. It does not satisfy the second condition. That's why investment in equity shares, investment in mutual funds cannot be classified as cash equivalents basically. Okay, right. Next, investment in government bonds, correct? But investment in government bonds which are due within 3 months from the balance sheet date, those can be called as cash equivalent. Okay, investment in preference shares, generally market may not possible, but just theoretically yes. Investment in preference shares which are due within 3 months. See, preference shares and all, what will happen? Within 3 months you will be getting the exact amount. Investment in debentures also you can put here, which are going to be recovered, realizable within 3 months, are supposed to be called as cash equivalent, but not every asset is going to be cash equivalent. See, again repeat, one is short term highly liquidable asset, right? That is short term means 3 months, and on realization there should be insignificant change in value. Remember, for the purpose of cash flow statement, all the cash activities are going to be divided into 3 types, as you know. One is operating activity, investing activity, financing activity. Okay, operating activities. What are operating activities? These are principal revenue generating activities. This is the main business for me. Okay, right. And that's all, not that one. And residuary activities are also operating activity. What do you mean by residuary? If one cash activity is it is neither investing nor financing, that is also treated as operating activity. Okay, right. That's why you record generally in your while solving, okay, loss on sale of whatever, not loss on sale, an earthquake, you received some insurance amount from insurance company, gave you money due to loss on fire or earthquake, something like that. That is not operating activity, but that is a residuary activity. Okay, right. At the same time, yeah, investing activity. What is investing activity? Purchase or sale of, purchase, either buying or selling of investments, as well as long-term assets. It says is long-term assets can be either PPE, that is property, plant and equipment, and intangible assets. Not only that, income from investment is also part of investing activity. Okay, what is financing activity? What is financing activity? That's like basically funding activity which will have an impact on the capital structure of the entity. That means issuing or redemption or buyback of equity shares, preference shares, debentures, right, taking the loan, repayment of loan. These funding activities are treated as financing activity. Not only that, the cost of funding, suppose you took a loan, for that you have to pay interest. Yes, that is cost of funding, is also financing activity. You issued equity shares. Okay, you will be paying equity dividend. Equity dividend is your financing activity. Preference dividend payment is financing activity. Interest is financing activity. Whatever issue expenses with respect to equity shares or debenture, all these items are also financing activity. Remember, financing, funding activities are financing activities. Okay, right. With respect to operating activities, every company can present it in two ways. There are two methods. One is direct method, indirect method. Wherein direct method is mandatory for insurance companies, wherein indirect method is mandatory for listed companies. Even though there is a choice, 99% of the companies do follow indirect method for their presentation, because that's more comfortable as well as easy. Okay, right. So that is what the methods of presentation of it. Let us look at some specific items like income tax. Income tax is an outflow of money. Income tax payment, obviously not a provision. Income tax payment is ordinary, that is operating activity in general. Okay, unless if he gives a specific information like we are paying tax on capital gains or something which is specifically related to either investing or financing, then it will be presented under investing and financing, if you can classify correctly. If you cannot, then entire income tax payment will be treated as operating activity. Okay, right. Extraordinary items. If there are any extraordinary items of cash receipt or cash payment, that requires a separate disclosure in cash flow statement also, like in the respective head. Suppose it is extraordinary related to operating, yes, then it has to come down towards the correct on the operating activity after income tax payment. Then you say plus or minus extraordinary items received or paid. Yes, if it is extraordinary item related to investing, then it has to come under investing activity, lost item. If it is related to financing, in the same way it is supposed to be. And one more small point I would like to add. Okay, bank OD, bank overdraft. Okay, is it financing activity, or is it operating activity, or is it cash and cash equivalent? Right. Generally, while solving the sum, many of you will be following it as as a loan or financing activity. Right. Correctly speaking, there is no guidance in accounting standard 3 with respect to bank overdraft. Okay, but even though there is no guidance in accounting standard 3, there is very clear guidance in IND AS 7. When we don't have guidance in accounting standard 3, yes, I feel I'm right, I can give due respect to IND AS, which is followed by all the big companies in the same country. Correct, na? Right. As per IND AS 7, Bank overdraft is not a loan. Actually speaking, bank OD is not a loan. It is part of cash management. It is part of cash management. Today I need money, I'll just get it from the banker. When I get it from my customer, I'll deposit. That's it. It is not a specific loan. If it is a cash credit is a clear loan. There is a term, how much rate of interest, everything is clear. Cash credit is pakka. Yeah, so cash credit is pakka financing activity. That means cash credit, if you take it, are repayment of cash credit. But with respect to bank overdraft, it is part of cash management. Okay, just it should not be called as a loan or financing activity. It should be considered as cash and cash equivalent as per IND AS 7. As there is no guidance in accounting standard 3, we should also consider like cash and cash equivalent. Okay, right. And with respect to other small items, with respect to foreign currency transactions, yes, with respect to in case of cash flow, what rate are we supposed to take it? See, this is cash flow statement. So the rate on the date of collection or payment, real cash flow is happening on which day, that day you are supposed to record it. As I have given, say you sold on 1st January, wherein the rate $1 is equal to 70, but you received money on 31st January, but that date rate is equal to 72. What is the date on that is the rate on the date of receipt is 72. Then total sales, amount of dollars into 72, that number should be considered in cash flow statement. Okay, right. And with respect to major non-cash items, as from the name itself you can make out it is non-cash item, so it will not come in cash flow statement. But if it is major non-cash activities are there, that should also be presented below the cash flow statement. Like convertible debentures, the company has issued equity shares for convertible debenture or preference shares. Yes, such item will come in. It will be as a disclosure below the accounting standard 3 cash flow statement. You are supposed to give it. Right. In case of barter, you bought it, like say land and building is purchased by issuing equity shares. Like such major circumstances are also supposed to be part of disclosure to accounting standard 3. That's it, my dear, with respect to accounting standard 3. Thank you.